Hi everybody, I'm gonna be making a big pot of caldo de arroz. Now this is rice soup with chicken and vegetables, and it's my Ron's favorite soup. It's a classic Mexican dish, very easy to put together, and it's perfect for this time of year. So today I'm gonna show you how I make it, step by step. Let's get started. So I'm gonna start by preparing my chicken. Now before I put it to boil, I'm gonna sear it, because I want a lot of that chicken flavor to come out. Now I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of oil in here. This is what's gonna give us that wonderful flavor that we're looking for. And here's my chicken breast. Now I'm just gonna let it sear like that for about 3 minutes until it gets real nice and gold. So it's been about 3 minutes. Now I'm gonna flip my chicken over to the other side. See how it's nice and gold? That's exactly what I wanted. See? And I'm gonna add my onion. I've got half of a medium onion. And I'm gonna give this side another 3 minutes. It smells delicious in here. It's nice and gold, just the way I want it. Now I'm gonna add my water. Now I'm putting in about 10 cups of water right there. And I'm gonna add my salt. I have 1 tablespoon of salt. We'll be able to adjust later. Now I'm gonna bring it up to a boil, and then I'm gonna lower the temperature to a medium low. You don't want to cook this really quick, otherwise it'll get tough on you. So I'm gonna time it for about 30 to 35 minutes, or until the internal temperature is about 165 degrees. So while my chicken is boiling on the stove, I'm gonna grind my spices. Now you can use the powdered form if you'd rather do that, but this is the way my mama always did it, and I'm so used to it. So I've got 1 teaspoon of whole peppercorns, and I've got 3/4 of a teaspoon of whole cumin. And I'm gonna grind them up really well. So my spices are nice and ground. Now I'm gonna add half a cup of water. I'm gonna bring it in together like this. And it's perfect. It smells wonderful. Now I'm just gonna set it aside, and I'm gonna wait until my chicken is done, and then we'll move on to the next step. So my chicken is ready. I let it cool down for about 10 minutes, and then I covered it up with some plastic wrap so it'll stay nice and moist. This way it won't dry up on you. And in this bowl, I've got some fresh corn off the cob. See, now you can use frozen corn, or you can use corn out of the can. It'll be fine. And I've got 1 cup of jasmine rice, but you can use regular long grain rice if you'd rather do that. And I rinsed it well, and it's nice and dry. 2 large chipotle peppers with a little adobo sauce, about a tablespoon's worth. Now you can leave that out if you don't want any heat in your caldo. But I do love the chipotle peppers in adobo sauce because they add a little bit of that smoky flavor that makes the soup so delicious, but it's optional. I've got some onions here, 1 1/4 cup. I combined them both, the yellow onions and the green onions, because I love the combination. But you can do either all yellow onions or all green, whatever you like. And I have 2 teaspoons of tomato paste, 3 Roma tomatoes, 3 medium-sized carrots, 2 celery ribs, and 3 calabacitas. Now, if you can't find these calabacitas, you can use regular zucchini. All these vegetables are nice and clean. You wanna make sure that they're nice and clean before you use them. And I'm gonna be using about 3 tablespoons of canola oil. Now, I'm gonna cut the vegetables up, not too big, not too small. And I wanted to show you how I cut them, because you wanna make sure that you cut all your vegetables about the same size. Otherwise, they will not cook evenly, and it's very important that you cut them up evenly. So I'm gonna remove the ends, see? Now I'm gonna cut them up, not too big and not too small, just bite size. Look at this. That's what you wanna do. Now if this piece is too big, you can cut it in half, and then you can cut it up. Just do the best you can to make sure that they're all about the same size. That's perfect. Now my calabacita. I want to remove the ends like this. And then I'm going to cut it in half. And then in half again, the long way like this. So I've got my calabacitas, my carrots, and my celery cut up, and these are ready to go. Now I didn't cut up the tomatoes because these are gonna go to the blender. So I'm gonna move everything out of the way and get the blender out. So I've got my vegetables out of the way. Now I'm gonna cut my tomatoes up because I'm gonna put them into my blender. See, you wanna take the ends off. I'm just gonna cut them up into 4s. Not a big deal, the blender can do the rest of the work. And I'm gonna put them in there. So just give them a little help. And that's good. Now I'm gonna add all the mixture from my molcajete. And I'm gonna put in 2 cups of water. And I'm gonna put my chipotle peppers and adobo sauce in here. You wanna make sure you get every drop because this is delicious. I'm gonna replace the lid and I'm gonna blend it really well. And that's perfect. Now I'm gonna clean up my area and move on to the next step. So I'm ready to put my caldo de arroz together. I'm gonna be using this large Dutch oven and I've got my heat set on medium. I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of canola oil in here. And it's very hot. That's why it's gotten a little dark in there. But later I'll clean it and it'll be just perfect. I'm gonna add my onions. And here are the green onions. I'm gonna move them around for just a few seconds like this. And I'm gonna let them release their flavor. And that's good. Now I'm gonna add all my vegetables in here. The carrots, the calabacita, and the celery. And I'm gonna let them sweat for just a few minutes. That'll speed up the process a little bit. You just wanna move them around. So I've been stirring my vegetables around for 15 minutes. And as you can see, the onions are starting to get a little toasty at the bottom, and that's good. Now I'm gonna add my tomato paste. I'm gonna add my corn. And I'm gonna add my rice. I'm gonna move everything around and let it all come in together. Now you don't want your rice to get golden brown or anything. It's not like when you're making Mexican rice. You just wanna make sure that everything comes in together really well like this. And that'll work just perfect. Now I'm gonna add all my blender mixture in here. And I'm gonna add my chicken broth. I passed all my chicken broth through a sieve. I'm gonna put it all in here. This is gonna be delicious. Now I'm going to replace my lid and I'm gonna let it come up to a boil. Then I'm gonna lower the temperature to a medium-low boil. Now we can move on to our last step. So while I wait for my soup to come up to a boil, I'm gonna shred my chicken. I'm gonna remove it from the bone and then I'm gonna shred it. Now I'm sure many of you have probably already noticed that I'm wearing braces. See? Now the reason I'm wearing braces is because I started having problems with my jaw not too long ago. I was starting to get some headaches and my jaw hurt and I was clenching really tight at night. I had braces when I was a young girl, many, many moons ago. And then, you know how it is. I don't know what happened to my retainer and I stopped wearing the retainer. But what was happening was that my teeth were starting to shift. And that's why I was having headaches and jaw pain and all that. So I had to go see the orthodontist. And he said the only way to fix the bite was to put braces back on me. So here I have them. He said I might have to wear them for 24 months. Can you imagine? But he said maybe less. It just depends how it goes. So I've been really sore these last few days, but not as sore today. So I'm trying to do the best I can, you know, and I'm talking with a lisp because I'm trying to get used to them. I had already forgotten how it felt to have braces on. So I'm trying to get used to it, but I wanted to tell you that in case you hadn't noticed. I feel like an old lady, you know, acting like a young girl with braces on, but it'll be okay. So I'm gonna continue shredding my chicken like this, and then I'll be putting it back into my soup when my rice is almost cooked all the way. So it's been 25 minutes. I'm gonna remove the lid. Oh, look at this. Beautiful. Now it's time for me to add my chicken. There's all the chicken. I'm gonna add some cilantro. And I'm gonna give it a light stir. Beautiful. This would be a good time for you to taste it and adjust it. See if it needs a little bit more salt. I'm gonna turn off the heat. I'm gonna replace my lid. And I'm gonna let it sit like that for about 5 minutes. Let it all come in together. Now it's time to serve. Yum, look at this. I've got some corn tortillas that I made earlier. They go so well together. I'm gonna get me one of these. I'm gonna put a little bit of butter, just like my mama always did when we were growing up. Roll it up. Now it's time for the taste test. Oh my gosh. This is super comfort food. Takes me way back to my childhood when my mama used to prepare this. I know you're gonna love it. So this is my caldo de arroz con pollo y vegetales. This is my rice soup with chicken and vegetables. If you like my video, give me a thumbs up, send me a comment and tell me what you think. Thank you.